Welcome to Create, Build, Manage, the Entrepreneur's Toolbox.
Welcome to Create, Build, Manage on BizTV. I'm Kelli Phillips. Today we have two guests with great insight for you. Brian Cavanaugh will help us all make the most of our entertainment dollars by reminding us that everything old is new again. James Bradley also wants to let us know about options in our entertainment budgets, but these options are anything but old. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Create, Build, Manage only on BizTV. Are you tired of paying those high cable bills or those high satellite TV bills? Well, our next guest believes it is time to cut the cord and save money. Please welcome Brian Cavanaugh. And Brian, kind of give us a little background about your history and what you're doing today in creating Streamwise Solutions.
Thanks, Kelli. Yeah, thanks for having me. My background is I worked in corporate telecom for 13 years for CenturyLink, and then we peddled DirecTV. And, half that time was on the front lines, just on the phones, and the other half was in the corporate office. And I just heard a lot of, angry folks all day, every day throughout doing that. And really, I was in the point in my life, I just had kids, so I was looking to save money. So I got to thinking, I'm like, why do people kind of go through this pain where they don't really like these big telecom providers, but yet they pay them hundreds of dollars a month every month for eternity? And then I realized, well, I think it's just there's a lack of information or just misinformation out there about other alternatives. So really, in essence, that's why I created Streamwise Solutions. We're different for sure. We're consultants, we're installers, we're integrators. We help with training and support. We really just are here to help people, cut the cord, save their time, their money, their sanity, and do it right the first time. That's what we're about.
Now, when you're talking saving money, what kind of money are we talking about? Because it seems like television prices increase every year.
Yeah, it's kind of the nature of the beast, unfortunately. I mean, I've been doing this as a business for 13 years, but I've also been in the industry for 26 years. And I can tell you that even though a lot of people think that they're working the best deals and it's going to change, it really isn't changing. It's getting worse, if anything. What's happening that's really causing it is TV content prices are going up, just like they have been for decades. Especially things like the local network channels are the most expensive channels, regional sports. Especially in the world of cable and satellite, the opposite side of that is they're losing 7 million customers a year to cord cutting. So it's just a big math problem where there's a lot less customers around to pay for all these price increases. So they don't have a choice. They have to raise prices. And unfortunately, they do it with more sneaky fees and bait and switch pricing and a lot of the things that obviously people have grown to, hate. And that's why they get, nothing but 1-star reviews. Ironically, it's also the same thing that's kind of plaguing some of these live streaming services, DirecTV Stream, Hulu Live, YouTube TV, whatever. They started at $35 a month, and, the TV content prices for them, because they have the most expensive channels, keep going up and up as well. So what used to be a bargain at $35 is now, $80 a month with tax and everything. And I'm sure next year it'll be $90 and, going up to $100. So there's a lot of things kind of constantly evolving and changing in the world of TV, but the main reason is just TV content prices are going up, especially for the content that people want to watch.
What do consumers actually want from their television service? From your years of experience, you've got to know the answer to that.
Yes. I mean, obviously, they're just kind of tired of the cable and satellite experience. There's more people that actually don't have cable and satellite than do have cable and satellite nowadays. They're tired of the contracts. They're tired of the bait and switch pricing. They're tired of the prices going up, the fees. They just want something that is easy to use and gets them what they want to watch when they want to watch it. And obviously, they don't want to pay a bunch of money for it every month. So really, it's pretty simple at the end of the day.
So what's the best option?
Well, there's a lot of ways to cut the cord. I mean, honestly, that's a big part. If you go to our website, getstreamwise.com, you'll see a lot of resources out there from our 13 years of doing this. But really, there's a lot of, like I said before, just misinformation and kind of cord cutting chaos, cord cutting confusion. There's a lot of hardware options and internet and Wi-Fi and streaming options. And, at the end of the day, there's just kind of too many confusing options out there. So unfortunately, a lot of people kind of do it wrong with the wrong hardware, or they try to get one of these live streaming services, which not necessarily bad for all people, but really the most overlooked thing is something that's been around forever. It's the same FCC government sponsored program that you grew up with way back when, and people kind of forgot about it, but it's actually been upgraded where you actually get way more channels and it's better HD quality than even what you pay for. And it's totally free forever. And that's an antenna. Just a regular over-the-air antenna for free TV is going to get you the most watched, most expensive channels, free and better HD, and in better reception too, quite frankly, if you do it right, at least.
Those people that live in rural America, does the same thing apply to them, or are they having to rely on the cable and satellite TV?
Things are changing. Obviously, over time, there's a newer technology called next gen TV in the world of antennas. It is helping to bridge some of those divides. It works in 80-90% of the country. So certainly, it's still worth exploring. That's one of the things we kind of do up front for people is just that, is help them to kind of figure out if they're in a good spot for antenna coverage and what the right antenna is. A lot of people honestly make the mistake of doing the little cheapo indoor antennas. One, you're cluttering up your house with indoor antennas all over the place, but really more important than that is you're going to have nothing but just constant issues where you're missing channels, or it's breaking up in the middle of, your favorite game, the NFL game or the local news. It's frustrating. And our whole thing is just do it right the first time. So we install like a really small, really powerful outdoor antenna. And that way it's just guaranteed reception, and you're not going to have any of those issues. It's actually, like I said, better than cable and satellite, not just for the HD quality, but you don't have any of those issues with weather and wind and, things like that. It's actually rock solid, believe it or not, even though it's free TV.
So with the antennas, for example, cable and satellite, when you have that, you hear so many people say, oh, it rained today, so I lost everything. Will you have that same thing with antennas? And the other question that I have for you, is it something that you're constantly going to have to scan to get additional channels or to upgrade at the same time with the television stations, the over-the-air television stations?
Yeah, kind of like I said before, no, if you do it right, if you do the little cheapo indoor antennas, yeah, you're going to have issues for sure. You'll get some channels, but it's going to be reception issues and what have you, missing channels. If you do it right and, do it with a reputable antenna installer, you'll be rock solid. You won't have any, it just doesn't matter what the weather is. We have $1,000 signal meter. We use the right equipment. We do it right the first time. We get it up high outside, and all those things make a huge difference. So you don't have reception issues. All the major networks really stay kind of the same, so you rarely need to rescan unless maybe you want some of the smaller channels. You'll get a bunch of smaller channels that have older TV shows, older movies, PBS channels. There's all kinds of content. There's actually almost 100 channels in most markets nowadays. So, if you do it right the first time, you're good to go.
One of the things that keeps coming up is the lack of education. How do we get people better educated on the antennas and this old hardware that is kind of come back and is new again?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but obviously, the big cable and satellite providers, the live streaming services that are making money off of people, they're not going to tell you of ways to get free TV. You're basically getting the most watched channels for free in better HD. So it's really the best option, 100%. Things like this, obviously getting the word out, it makes a huge difference. We're even doing programs now for multifamily, like MDUs. So whether it's an apartment complex or affordable housing, we've worked with, like, for instance, as an example, the Longmont Housing Authority, where they're actually saving $50,000 a year that they can put back into the city of Longmont. and their tenants are all getting 100 free channels off of an antenna from a master antenna. So if you think about it, whether you're a property manager, whether you're a tenant, I mean, you're basically saving $100 a month. Whether there's 100 units, 1,000 units, it doesn't matter. You kind of do the math. I mean, that's thousands upon thousands of dollars a year, not just for consumers and homes, but we also do a lot of work for, like I said, multifamily, affordable housing, where we're putting a master antenna in the attic or the roof, and then every single unit in that building is getting free TV. So it's pretty amazing once people are educated as to what's possible. To be able to get it done right and make it so that everyone can get free TV and put money back into people's pockets that really need it.
I don't think you're going to have many people argue with you on that. Brian Cavanaugh, Streamwise Solutions. Look them up and get more information. We appreciate you joining us today. He's an award-winning television producer with more than 25 years in the business and now has a company to be the disruptor in the entertainment industry. Please welcome James Bradley. And James, I've got to ask, a disruptor in the television business? What are you talking about?
Over the course of our lifetime, we've seen our industry basically, which had hundreds of parts, all get consolidated by these major corporations. There's 4 companies that really run the entertainment business, and that has done, I think, a lot of harm to our business, to the creative world. And we hope to be able to disrupt that, to give people an option to get projects made, to get films made, to get TV shows made, and then distribute without having to go to a major studio to sell a show.
You don't have to go to Hollywood, go through all of the red tape, is what you're saying.
Correct. Yeah. If I create a TV show. I want to go make it. Well, I've got to have an agent that represents me to a studio exec. Then I go pitch my show at the studio exec, and they may like it, they may hate it. Well, there's only 4 or 5 other companies I can go pitch it to. If nobody buys it, I'm SOL. So, and especially if you're not in that inner circle of the same 20 people that are the makers of this content, you don't have a lot of shot. And we've got, hundreds and thousands of people that have written movies, that have written TV shows that don't really they don't know where to go. They don't know how to pitch. They don't know these connections. So, we started Camelot Studio Group to be that disruptor. We've got 2 streaming platforms that we're going to launch in and around May that will hopefully bring that disruption to a full circle.
Love that. Tell us a little bit about your background and your accomplishments.
I started a long time ago, 25, 30 years. I like to tell people I can make a movie with a toothpick, a hairbrush, and a flat iron.
See that.
I've worked in just about every department there is. I won an Emmy Award for producing the Better Homes and Gardens television show in 2000. And I've written 5 or 6 different scripts, directed 4 films, created 2 TV shows. So it's been a wealth of education.
So are you still in the content creating business, or are you just accepting people who have gone out and created their own and now they want to avoid all that red tape and then they come to you?
Both. The main reason for starting this was selfish reasons, because I got tired of going through the dance. Mm-hmm. Being able to bring money together, to be able to bring content together and produce our own stuff. And several of my friends and associates started jumping on board and saying, "Hey, we've got this. Hey, we've got that." So although it was selfish, it now is a collaborative source.
Now, the whole business itself has changed. I mean, you alluded to that early in our discussion, but Tell us where you think the future of this business of television is going.
Well, if you listen to the pundits, TV's dead. It's all about streaming and even cable's going to go away. I don't believe that's true. There's too many people that still, watch regular television. There's too many people that watch cable TV. I do believe that the exonerant budgets of stuff that is being made, the big, everybody's going to watch a Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. Game of Thrones was $10 million an episode. Only the studios can afford to put something like that together. But independents, if you do it smart, you don't need as much money as a studio does to make something, right? They have massive overhead. You take a show that's $1 million an episode budget. Well, the studio's probably putting $200,000 or $300,000 of that into their pocket. So you're only getting $600,000 to make a show. Well, so when we talk to our filmmakers, our television producers, we say we're going to make the show for $600,000. You're not going to get rich making 10 episodes of a TV show. You have to wait. You have to generate those revenue streams. You have to cultivate the project, and money will come. And you have no idea how many people understand that and have clamored at the gate, so to speak, to try and get their projects facilitated.
I think those of us who have been in television for a long time understand that television it can be a way to make a whole lot of money, but for most of us, it's more about the passion behind what we do, and that's why we do what we do. Do you find that to be true in your case?
I would say 1,000% correct. It is. Being a painter, being a musician, being a writer, it isn't. Nobody starts out doing it for the money. You do it because you love what you do, and being able to actually cultivate that is the biggest thing in the world.
So, how is your platform different from others that may be out there?
Well, we have two platforms. There's Stripes TV. Stripes TV is a faith and family based platform. We're trying to cater to half of the country that doesn't really have a voice. The other platform is Tribe Digital TV, and Tribe is not unlike a Netflix. It is basically covers entertainment A to Z. We're bringing in some stuff from out of the country, Europe, Africa, Asia, etc. But it will be more of what you would call a mainstream media channel. So without the mainstream. So if folks are perhaps content producers and are interested in talking to you, how do they find out more about you, Camelot, and what you do? You can go to CamelotStudioGroup.com and go into the About Us. There is a Submit Your Project website. Also on StripesTV.com TribeDigitalTV.com. Same thing. You can go into the About Us and send us an email, submit a project, do whatever, ask whatever questions you have.
I love it. And I can't wait to see what you're going to do. Can you give us a little hint about what you're working on now? Because I know you've got a few things up your sleeve.
We have a sitcom that we are going to camera on this summer. And then late fall, we will start a 1-hour drama, which is a big conspiracy theory show that talks about history from basically the biggest conspiracy being possibly the Council of Nicaea, where they condensed all the books of the Bible and threw out half of them. Well, isn't that a conspiracy theory? What was in the books that got thrown out? And leading all the way up to present day.
You're not going to stop, are you, anytime soon?
Yeah.
It's too
Why
much.
Stop. It's too fun.
Exactly. It's way too much fun. James Bradley, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking your time with us today. Thanks for joining me for BizTV's Create, Build, Manage. Episodes of Create, Build, Manage are available on demand on the free BizTV streaming app. Visit watch.biztv.com and get BizTV programming anytime, anywhere. Stay tuned to BizTV for more stories that educate, enlighten, and empower.